The two issues that were probably central to our conversion, or my conversion, I should say. Number one was the Eucharist, without a doubt. John chapter 6, as a Baptist, I tap danced around that so many times, trying to say it doesn't really say what it says. Jesus didn't really mean eat my flesh, drink my blood. And comparing that with what St. Paul wrote in Corinthians when he says, if you eat or drink unworthily, you eat or drink damnation to yourself, not recognizing the body and blood of Christ. And once I approached that and hit its face, square on, there was no way I could get around it. It says what it says. And in realizing from history that nobody, for almost 1,500 years, there was virtually no Orthodox Christian that questioned the real presence of Christ in the Eucharist. So that was probably the main thing. The second thing is the unity of the church.
Well, before we go into that, let's go back to Eucharist one, because that's such an important issue. Because I remember in my own journey, one of the issues that, John 6, what you're saying is right along with my own journey, but I think what struck me, and Michael, your own thoughts, was that let's face it, the biggest problem today with non-Catholics accepting what the Catholic Church says about the Eucharist is when it comes right down to it, the non-Catholic is going to say, well, wait a second. All I see is a wafer of wheat. All I see with my senses is a goblet of grape wine. And what's interesting is that for those 1,500 years when it wasn't challenged, it's because in the earliest days of the church, they recognized that very issue to say, don't trust your senses.
Right.
Did you see that when you were looking at the early fathers?
I saw some of that, but for me personally, my belief in the Eucharist is the ultimate test of my belief in the divinity of Christ. Because if you took Jesus' physical body as he was 2,000 years ago and looked at it under a microscope, you would find flesh and blood. Right. It takes a supreme act of faith to believe that this carpenter from Nazareth is actually God the Son, the second person of the Trinity, God incarnate.